Y'all remember when J. Cole got offered like a training camp slot, like a spot to play for an NBA team? How do y'all feel about that? Like seriously, if y'all keep up with that type of thing, how do y'all feel about that? Or how would you feel about someone in this particular lane, right? A lane that's different from yours, whatever lane that you consider yourself in. How would you feel about them getting a slot ahead of you? Like how would you feel about them getting their spot or a chance ahead of you just because they're a big name, a big popular name? Like for me personally, right? I was not upset with J. Cole getting offered that spot, but when them other NBA players was getting upset, I couldn't blame them. Like I really couldn't blame them, because you got to think about it, right? A lot of those players who in the NBA been playing basketball since elementary school, especially the really good ones, the superstar NBA players. They've been playing basketball since elementary school. So imagine you've been playing ball since then, and some big name person, just because they're a big name, get offered a spot ahead of you. Or for them players that is not in the NBA, or they've been grinding playing basketball for 13 years or some shit like that, just to see, wow, J. Cole really got offered a spot just because he's J. Cole. He ended up playing in Africa, but that's not the point. Like, just imagine you've been grinding that long and someone else gets pushed right ahead of you. How would you feel about that shit? Seriously, how would you feel about that?
Top off the field, smoke his ass, nigga, top up. Nigga, top off the field, smoke his ass, nigga, top up.
Now let's be facts.
Okay, so T.I., y'all know the rapper T.I., right? King of the South, as people call him, whatever. So him, T.I. and Godfrey is a comedian. If you don't know who that is, he's a comedian, okay? So they're butting heads right now because T.I. performed a comedy set at his show after. Now, Godfrey was the headliner and T.I. performed after. T.I. performed after. And yes, that was actually part of the contentious nature between them two, what was going on. Because Godfrey was like, in the comedy world, you're not supposed to perform after the headliner. Like, no one is supposed to go after the headliner. You know what I'm saying? So Godfrey brought that up too. So yeah, that was part of the contentious nature of what was going on. Now, this topic right here is actually like really interesting to me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, because this relates to so much different things, like so much different angles I'm gonna attack this from. Because this relates back to Blueface and Shiggy. I don't know if y'all remember that. I actually did talk about that show on my channel, because I find topics like this really interesting. Because Blueface, he's a rapper. I don't even know if he raps anymore, but Blueface is labeled a rapper, okay? He was talking with Shiggy before about like how comedians shouldn't be rappers. How like you in this lane right here, and you pretty much should stay in this lane. You shouldn't jump into this other lane. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much in essence what this topic is, diving into. Pretty much how a rapper, the rapper named Blueface, told Shiggy that comedians shouldn't be rappers. That was the topic at that moment. And, it could always dive deeper into subtopics, because you got YouTubers now want to rap. YouTubers want to go into boxing. You got all this, like, this person is known for this one thing right here. This one lane, this one industry right here. And then they jump into another one, and you always have people who's in that other industry doubting them and telling them like, no, you shouldn't do this, no, you shouldn't do that, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And just with the rap thing in general, a lot of the OG rappers, the people who been rapping since forever, like since elementary school, you know what I'm saying, and they're in their 30s now, they're not necessarily okay with someone who, like I said, is in this other industry that's not rap, just jumping into the rap lane, jumping into the rap scene, and then just taking it like that. Because it's almost like you disrespecting the craft. It's almost like, because like I said, them rappers who've been rapping since elementary school, whatever the case is, they've been studying that shit. They've been, like I said, you gotta learn the craft. You gotta study that shit. You gotta know, like, okay, I know the nuances. I know the ins and outs of the rap game. I know all of that shit. You gotta really take that into account, bro. Even for YouTubers, like, a lot of them bigger name YouTubers, they studied that shit. They learned the algorithm. They learned the thumbnails and all of that shit. You gotta, it's a lot, but it pays off in the long run, bro. You gotta really learn that shit, bro. It takes that time, and that's why people in a certain industry would feel away or feel maybe disrespected if someone from another industry just jumped into their lane and just took it like it was nothing. Cause like of course they have all right to feel disrespected though. I like, think about it. You studying, you grinding, you doing this shit 10 plus years now, and this other person who just come out of nowhere think they could do the same thing as you. I'm not gonna front. I could understand why someone would feel disrespected by that. I could. I really could. And T.I. even said it. Like, he was like, you know how much comedians are now rappers, and vice versa too. Or maybe not necessarily comedians and rappers, but you could choose any two industries, bro. They a lot of them really intertwined. Like I said, YouTubers wanting to rap now, YouTubers wanting to make music now, YouTubers want to do all this and that, or vice versa, anything along those lines. You see how crazy it could be, right? Or those social media comedians now wanting to make music or start streaming or anything like that. That's really how it is. The person in that original lane would feel disrespected by someone coming from another lane and then just jumping in there all willy-nilly. Now, don't get me wrong, it would benefit them, the people that jumping into the other lane, because they have a fan base. They got OG supporters who's gonna support them no matter what they do. But those people that's already in that said lane that you're about to jump into, some of them would feel disrespected. Like, damn, I've been studying this shit 20 plus years now. I got this old whippersnapper right here who's just gonna jump into my same industry just because. See what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. There'll be some people who don't want you to jump into their lane because they're just genuine haters. Like, they know you'll be good at that shit. They know you'll be good at that shit, right? And they genuinely hate on you or like try to discourage you from doing it. Like, man, like, nah, you shouldn't try to be a comedian. You're not gonna be funny. You know, it's a lot of hard work and shit like that. Knowing damn well they laugh at all of your videos, bro. It be little shit like that you always gotta pay attention to. Don't get me wrong. There'll always be the people who don't want you to branch out because they know for certain you'll be good at that shit, and they want to talk you out of it. That's evident. That happens. You know, that happens. It's unfortunate, but yes, that does happen. Now, there'll be other people who don't want you to jump into that lane just because of fear, just out of fear of like you. I know you'll probably be good at this, but please just stick to what you're doing now. That could almost fall into the same angle as the first one I talked about, but that's more of a fear of, I don't want you to fail. It's good. I can understand that, and I could respect that if you feel that way, but let me make that decision myself. You know what I'm saying? And just another little caveat thing too. Me personally, if I have a favorite YouTuber, let's just say, I may not want them to jump into another lane just because I know that, damn, they're not gonna be making YouTube videos anymore, or they're not gonna be making videos as often anymore. And don't get me wrong, depending on what that industry is, I'm gonna support them either way. Don't get me wrong about that. But I'll be like, damn, you're not gonna be making YouTube videos anymore. It'd be shit like that too. It'd be all them little things that's like, yo, you want that person to stay in that one lane for different reasons. Some people just genuinely hate, just be haters, you know, just be genuine haters and shit like that. Some people just be fearful, or some people are just like, man, I want him to stay here because this is what I love him for. This is what I, originally supported him for. You know what I'm saying? And this is another thing I gotta bring up too. When Vine and YouTube really started becoming real popular, a lot of those stars who used to make those videos on those apps and shit like that, they started getting into the Hollywood role, them acting roles and shit like that. And I remember a few of the actors was not too pleased with that. You know, they wasn't too pleased with the fact that these people making 15-second videos on Vine or whatever, making, you know, skits and shit on YouTube and shit like that, and getting acting roles and getting roles in movies and TV shows and shit like that. A lot of them OG actors, like I said, them child actors who been acting since elementary school and shit, them kid actors and shit, they wasn't okay with that. The kid actors that's now adults. Let me make sure I clear the air on that. Them act like them OG actors. Like, you know them for movies and TV and shit like that. No social media, nothing. They wasn't okay with someone coming from this whole social media thing angle and getting Hollywood roles. When, you know, them OG actors, they have to struggle, they have to fight, they have to go through all these casting calls, they have to beat out these other high list ass actors and shit like that just to get their role. Like I said, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I understand why certain people in a certain industry would be mad about that or would feel disrespected about that, because you gotta think about it. All right, I'll pose a question for y'all to think about too. Think about, for YouTube for example, because that's what I'm doing right now. Think about you grinding on YouTube 5+ years, whatever, even more than that, whatever the case is, you know, and then you have someone from whatever industry start making YouTube videos and think they could do it better than you, or think they could do it as equal as you. Like, bro, I've been studying, this shit, I've been learning this and that, I failed this, failed that, passed this, passed that, all of that shit. You think you just gonna come in my lane and thrive? Like, no, bro, it don't work like that. And you would feel disrespected. And this is another little personal thing too. Nowadays, and if I hear someone that's not doing YouTube talk about, like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and make mad money. When I hear something, if I hear something like that, bro, I mean, I look at them like they stupid. Like, yo, bro, it don't work like that, bro. It's gonna take you a while. Like I said, some people gonna get lucky, but the more often than not, it's gonna take you a long while for you to make some good ass money from that shit. So even in something like that, you would feel disrespected just out of the craft and the love you have for this shit. I turn this camera on, I just start fucking smiling, yo. I'm not even gonna lie, I turn this camera on, I just start cheesing like a fucking school kid. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it be shit like that. Like, T.I., like, he has the rap fan base. He will always have that, no matter what. And if he actually decides to really take comedy serious, he'll have his core rap fans who would probably go support him there. Like I said, he'll have some genuine haters who was like, man, he was barely a good rapper, why he's gonna try to do comedy? Hating. Or he'll have people like, damn, you know what, man, you have a solid ass rap career, you should just retire and keep it at that. Fearful. You'll have both of that shit for you out there. For you, if you're gonna attack this one lane head on for a few years and thrive off of that shit, and then you're gonna decide to go into another lane. Trust me, it's always good to go into another lane though. Trust and believe, it's always good. I've started to understand that and believe that. But you'll have haters, you'll have doubters, you'll have people who's just fearful of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, personally speaking, right? I'm more on the side of the like OG people, the original people who studied certain things and been grinding 20+ years or whatever the case is. T.I. said he's been rapping for 20+ years to get where he's at now, right? Because for someone to just jump into your lane and take it as a joke, kind of, and that's even for the newer school rappers who just started rapping last year or some shit and think they the greatest. Like, bro, you disrespecting the craft. That's disrespect right there, you know? So shit like that, I agree with them older people who put in the time, put in the effort, put in that pain, them 20+ years, whatever the case is. Imagine doing something for 20+ years to get that craft down. And then this young whippersnapper over here is just gonna come in your lane and think they could, like, I'm not gonna front, I don't normally just agree with these old heads who be thinking everything was better back in the day and shit like that. I don't always agree with them, but something like this, I'm not gonna front, I do. So now let me know, let me know what y'all think. Seriously. And here's the thing you gotta imagine for me. Just imagine you've been doing something however long, a long ass time, 10 plus years, right? To grind and study the craft and thrive and become successful in that thing. And then you hear someone walking down the street talk about, you know what, I'm gonna do this and be bigger than Kevin Hart, comedian wise, let's just say. How would you feel about that? Or if you're a YouTuber, how would you feel about someone saying, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and be making $1 million next month or some shit like that? How, like, legit, how would you feel about that? Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm really curious. Okay, T.I. and Godfrey. I understand where Godfrey is coming from because he's been studying, he's been doing his thing, however much he is on that. T.I., I understand his point of view too. Like, you don't want to be a one-trick pony, you know what I'm saying? So, I agree with both of them. Because I understand Godfrey's point of view on this shit. But I also understand T.I.'s point of view too. Like, you don't want to be a one-trick pony. He's going to have supporters from his rap career. So why not jump into another field? You know, it's not gonna be easy. It's not going like they're not gonna have sympathy for him. If he's not funny, he's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think, man. I really appreciate the support. We grinding. I'm grinding, man. It feels good. Okay, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Seriously, really let me know what y'all think, man. Thank you. And more videos coming soon, man. Ah!